Hey guys, today I'm going to be doing another castable resin review, looking at the Anycubic Dental Castable Resin. Anycubic are, of course, the powerhouse behind the much loved Photon resin printers, so they already have an established reputation. The resin's price is competitive, coming in at less than half the cost of some of the resins I've already reviewed. I used two printers whilst reviewing this resin, the Anycubic Photon S and the Elegoo Mars. I was fortunate enough to have a head start when coming up with the printer settings, as my Alaskan buddy Dick Morris was already using this resin with his Elegoo Mars and was happy to share his results with me. This allowed me the chance to tinker just a little and come up with these settings for both printers. For me, the resin was a little power hungry. It needs long exposures to achieve fair quality prints, and this obviously slows down the printing process considerably. I've had a few requests from folks asking me to produce a VogGuy coin, and whilst I'm still waiting for the punchline, I thought I'd have a bash at designing one anyway, using Fusion 360. Some of you might recognise this logo as the one I designed for my coin making challenge with my old mate Perry over at SW Dweeb, roughly 18 months ago now. Someone wrote in a few weeks ago and asked if it was possible to print and cast small gears, and I said I suspected so. Here's the gears in question. I'll be honest, they're a little smaller than I expected. A nice guy named Connor, but better known on Facebook, Instagram and Etsy as the UK Ranger Dude, did me a very nice turn recently, and I'll share that with you on another occasion. But in turn, I offered to cast him a bronze ring, and this is the design he sent over. It's a bit on the thick side, but it's beautifully designed. He's clearly got a lot of design talent. This inspired me to have a go at a ring of my own. And before you praise my design talents too much, it's actually just a blend of two files you've already seen me working on. Having had a go at best guessing the print settings, I was able to produce some nice looking prints. They weren't perfect and generally needed some repair. Obviously this could be down to my settings, and I can't help but wonder if the long exposures didn't help. Print lines, like here, were often oddly pronounced. Sometimes they were somewhat withdrawn, like here, producing a trench-like imperfection, and I also found the occasional hole. I would describe the prints as hard and brittle, which is okay as they're going to be burnt away, but it does create certain issues. Personally, I always cut away my supports and never tear them free. But when the prints are brittle, as they are here, it can amount to the same thing. The fragile nature of these supports means that they can break even as they're being cut. This can lead to imperfections on the print, like these tiny divots. These will appear as holes in the casting if they're not filled with wax or sanded smooth. Thankfully, the prints do file and sand nicely, though I found myself doing much more time-consuming repair work than I ideally liked. As normal, the prints were attached to wax sprues, and the main sprue was inserted into my homemade silicone base. Folks keep asking me why I use my own base with this pouring basin system. Well, watch carefully. Did you see it? It's hard to see with the naked eye, but through the camera lens I regularly see debris falling from the crucible and even from within the molten metal. This pouring basin has a ridge that catches and holds this debris, preventing it from passing into the casting, helping form crisper castings without faults. Making a pouring basin like this is very easy. It's just a matter of designing and printing a mould to match your flask, then filling this with silicone. If that's not your sort of thing, I have placed my print files on Etsy for purchase and download. You need to supply your own silicone and an FDM printer, but you should be able to scale things up or down to match your needs. And hopefully this should lead to better quality castings. But not here it didn't. There's nothing crisp and quality about these castings. As you can see, these came out horribly. Damn those casting gods. So I tried again. Nope, obviously I've done something wrong. A look at the Anycubic website gave me the answer. The burnout cycle temperature needs to go up much higher than I typically go. This unfortunately involves more time and electrical energy than I'd usually use, but I have to give Anycubic a fair crack at things. Now these were looking much better. Not perfect, but better. Unfortunately, I'd forgotten to include the gear cog print. Here we go again with the jeweler's saw. Not bad. Just one broken blade this time. We're getting there. Okay, I've picked up yet another vise, but this one at least helps me keep things nice and steady. The overall casting results were a mixed bag. I'd forgotten to do the tiny gear, but it's clearly possible as shown in these horrible castings. The ring for Connor was terrible. I'm deeply disappointed with it. I can't see Connor wanting to do me any more favours based on this. I'll have another bash some other day, I think. The VogGuy coins weren't bad. Again, not perfect, but not too bad. But the skull ring, that I was pleased with. Look at those teeth. Mind you, it is Anycubic dental resin after all. Other than a couple of tiny dimples that I could probably file away, and the insides which I didn't really bother with, I would say this skull ring is probably one of the best castings I've done so far. But this is an Anycubic Castable Resin review, and not a look at my castings. So how did it fare? Well, it's nicely priced in comparison to some of its competitors. It produces nice quality prints. It's easy to file and sand, making the prints easily workable. It also burns away cleanly and produces nice castings, if you actually follow the instructions, like I didn't. But it's not my favourite resin if I'm honest. It's slow to print because of the long exposure times. The prints had more than a typical number of quality issues, needing repairs. Its hard and brittle nature means supports snap off easily, often leaving imperfections behind. And its high burnout temperature means more energy and more time are needed. So for me, it may be half the price, but I found it took more than twice as long to achieve the sort of look that I'm after. As always guys, the choice is yours to make. Which is more important to you, money or time? Maybe time is money for you, or perhaps you'd sooner save a few bucks and enjoy a relaxed approach. Or maybe you'll be able to improve on my printer settings, achieving a better all-round result. Whatever your approach, I've been as honest with my findings as I can be. So I hope you enjoyed this video review, guys. Take care, and thanks for watching.